Tata Martino, who has left behind, Herc, his suggestions for what changes should be made in Mexican soccer. And actually, they mirror a little bit of what you just heard from Ache. First, he wants better competition. He wants to reduce or eliminate friendlies that Mexico plays in the United States. 2, he wants to sell more Mexican players to Europe. And 3, he wants more playing opportunities for young Mexican players in Liga MX. Herc, is it time to tell Tata once again to get lost, or this time is the now former manager of Mexico speaking the truth?
Nancy Drew is speaking the truth here.
Why you say Nancy Drew? Explain that to people.
Well, Nancy Drew was a detective back in Sebi's day. It's a very referenced joke. He's not really discovering anyone didn't know.
It's obvious. It's obvious.
Well, not only is it obvious, but the last, 3, 4 Mexican national team coaches, or that have been there in some capacity, have said the exact same thing. It's about putting now into practice. I can't tell him to get lost because he's just reaffirming what everybody already knew. He's telling you, he's echoing what everybody already knows. So yes, great, thank you. But where was this when you were there, when you accepted the money, when you saw everything going on? Why didn't you speak out then? Even if you knew it, even if everybody knew it, why didn't you make a point of it then? It's one thing after you get paid. It's one thing after the World Cup is done. It's another thing after it's all said and done to just be like, hey, not my fault, because this is what it sounds like to me. Not my fault. Look, these are things that are hampering Mexican football. What about when you take the job and you figure out this is going on? Why not say something then?
Well, to be fair, this does come out in the report that he kind of has to do as his last function as the manager for FMF. So there's something to be taken there. It is very obvious. I don't know that I want to scream at Tata Martino for saying the obvious. I want to scream more, Herc, at the owners, who are really the same people who have been in charge for Tata Martino and Juan Carlos Osorio before him and everybody before them, and didn't change anything, right? The fact that it's obvious, the fact that it's the same things that we're talking about in this show as we did back in 2018 when we did 2 on 3, the fact that the things aren't changing, that's down to the people in charge. That's down to the owners. To me, they draw much more criticism here than Tata Martino. I will give him a bit of a get lost, Herc, because he talks about exporting players to Europe, and then remind me who were the 2 of the last guys that he cut? Santiago Jimenez, where was he playing?
Feyenoord.
Europe. Yeah. And Diego Lainez, and where was he playing?
Well, wasn't
Europe.
playing, but he was in Portugal,
so 2 of the exports he didn't end up taking. So it's hard for me to buy into all these recommendations when it seems like Tata Martino didn't even buy into them himself.
Is he wrong?
He's not wrong. Do you know one other thing I noticed here that I liked?
What?
He said reduce or eliminate the friendlies in the United States. That word, eliminate, to me, is very interesting because that makes it sound like, and I've always thought the Juegos Moleros might have had some value. This makes it sound like they have no value, zero value.
Of course they have value. And the producer, the very wise producer, whispered into my ear, never, when you said eliminate, how and why would they eliminate these games? The cash cow that it is.
But a coach
soccer
says it's worth 0.
Well, he's
a
not
coach
the first.
says it's worth 0.
He's not the first. We've had Juan Carlos Osorio with us. Saying it's worth 0. On the field, sporting-wise, it's worth something or they wouldn't keep doing it. It's worth something or they wouldn't keep going back to the well. That's what it is. It's a cash cow. It's a cash grab for Mexican football, one that they would not have, an extra income that they would not have that probably would hamper and hurt other sectors of their national teams. I'm talking about youth national team develop, the women's national team game. Whatever you may think of these games, they supplement and kind of keep going with these national team programs. So there is some worth to them, but you can't just beat this horse into the ground like they've done time and time again. Going back to that never playing friendly games in Mexico because they want that dollar. Well, this is a product of it.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.